Welcome everyone to another episode of Around the Block Talk. Today we have with us Mr. Maharaj. He is a blockchain consultant based out of Dubai, and he is an industry veteran, now having spent several years in this particular space. So his specialty would be enterprise blockchain, and very happy to have you here today with us, Maharaj. I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and it's happy to be connecting online with all of you through this Ideas Tech Talk session. My name is Maharaj. Like Prateek introduced, I'm an enterprise blockchain consultant. I have like 15 plus years of experience in IT, and in my past 8 years, I'm in IT project management. And I'm in Dubai since Jan 2017, and part of my IT project management projects and deliveries are related to government projects. And I got attracted to this blockchain technology around 2018, and I started learning, and my interest aligned towards enterprise blockchain rather than crypto and the crypto assets and the NFT trading, decentralized exchange, and so on. I am consulting in enterprise blockchain now, and especially in Hyperledger Fabric. And I would like to welcome you all today for this session related to blockchain project management, hosted by Ideas. And joined with us today is Mr. Prateek and Mr. Arthur from Ideas. I welcome you all. I'm going to start my presentation now. And if you have any questions, I would like to request you to post it in chat so that Mr. Prateek here will be monitoring it, and we'll be having a Q&A session by the end of the discussion.
Sure. Thank you, Maharaj. We can proceed.
Thanks, Prateek. I hope my slides are visible now. Prateek, would you be able to confirm that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this is about me, a little bit about me, my experience and my technology certifications. And I'm also a member of Project Management Institute. I'm a member of Computer Society of India and the Government Blockchain Association, that is GBA Global in the US. And also some of the certifications that are very close to my heart are the PMI certification I just finished a few months ago, and certified blockchain solution architect, that is from Blockchain Training Alliance, and certified blockchain project manager, that is from University Canada West, and also the governance risk and compliance professional, that is from OSEG. So today's topic is about blockchain project management. There are two ways to approach this, like how we can utilize blockchain as a technology in project management field, like how we use or adapt blockchain in supply chain, healthcare, and so on. The other way to approach this title today is how blockchain projects are managed, and how it is, whether it is going to have any difference in terms of past IT project managements and so on. So let's dive in. So ever since the internet was introduced, from the internet era, we had this centralized system, what the server and client environment, where the client communicates to the server and the server processes it and issues the command, and the client executes it. But that was a single point of failure. Then came distributed computing, where there were replica and there were copies of the infrastructure across the globe, where if one site is down, the other data center or the other location, the other site will be able to serve the queries for the clients across the globe. And internet is an example of a distributed computing. Here, still we had this one problem where a centralized authority was handling the complete ownership of our data and the complete authority of everything, including the infrastructure, the data that is lying in between. Slowly, the need for this decentralization came in, so that there was another form of computing that is decentralized, where the centralized authority and ownership was ignored, and still the infrastructure existed, but the data was spread across the globe, but there was no single authority for that. That method of handling this data and infrastructure is what we call as a decentralized computing. The reason why we are talking about, we started this about the decentralized computing, is we are going to connect all the dots to blockchain. Now we come back to cryptography and the hashing algorithms. So cryptography is a technology that existed for thousands of years. We all know about the Caesar, the Julius Caesar, the king, the Roman emperor, who used cryptography to communicate with his army generals. So it's a thousands of years old technology, but it was not called as a technology at the time. So cryptography was existing such a long time, and around the World War I and II and so on, there were usage of cryptography in terms of communication between the two major group of countries fighting each other. So cryptography ensures that the communication between the parties is encrypted, and if anyone taps the communication or hacks the communication in the middle, they won't be able to decode it unless they have the key used to encrypt the message. If only they have the key, they'll be able to decrypt the message. So next comes the introduction of hashing in our discussion, where hashing is like an algorithm. We present a data and we generate a hash out of it. We'll be getting us a set of alphanumeric characters. Let's say in this example presented here, I have mentioned blockchain project management session, and I'm getting a 64 character hash, which is having alphabets and numbers. The next example that we have presented here, I just added a full stop over there, but the entire hash got changed. So this hash, what it means here is, if we generate this hash in my system today, or in your system tomorrow, or someone's system across the globe, anywhere, whatever it be, whoever is going to generate the hash for this particular text is going to get the same hash value. But even if there is a small change, even there is a removal of an alphabet or addition of an alphabet, the hash value will change. So this cryptography and this hashing methodology is adopted in a decentralized method of computing. And then came the introduction of the Bitcoin white paper around 2008, where they proposed exchanging of value in terms of coins, that is the financial exchange, using cryptographic algorithms. And the records are created in the form of blocks, so that it won't be tampered. If someone tries to tamper it, like how we discussed in the hashing, if someone tries to change anything, the hash value will get changed, and it would be easy for anyone in the participating network to realize and understand that someone actually attempted to change it. So next we are going to introduce the terminologies, databases, and ledger. So when internet came into picture, it was like Web 1.0. There was only a presentation of information. Then came the necessity of storing data. So when we say about storing data, databases came into picture, where records are created in the form of rows and columns and saved in tables, and tables are interconnected to each other, and that is why we call us relational databases and so on. That is one form of presentation of data. The other form is the ledger, which is the terminology we use in blockchain, uh, is just presenting the data in the form of rows, like a ledger and a reception, like our bank passbooks, like that. If you download your account statement for 1 year, if you're getting the PDF copy that has like 12 pages of PDF with all the transactions that happened in the past 1 year, it's a digital form of a ledger, we can say. So that is what a ledger is. The downside here in database is, like, if anyone wants to tamper anything or alter anything, if a database admin, for example, have access to it, he'll be able to easily delete a row or add a new row. So database has this 4 different functions: read, write, update, and delete. Whereas in ledger, only we can write and then we can read it later. If we are going to make any changes, like before 6 months, if you are going to make any changes, we have to end up working on all the trailing rows after that entry that we have tampered with. So that is one thing that is not easily possible in the ledger form of presentation of data. Now we are going to introduce blockchain. What exactly is blockchain?
Sorry, Maharaj, an input here. So I think the kind of audience we have, they are aware of the basics in the blockchain.
Okay.
We can move to more advanced concepts.
Fantastic. That's great. Thanks for the confirmation.
Sure.
So as we all know, as we just got the confirmation, blocks are presented here in the form of transactions compiled to each other, and the hash of the previous block is connected to the hash of the following block. And if anyone is trying to tamper it, it is not possible unless they get a hold of it. And even if someone tries and succeeds, if it is a single node, and if it is, then you'll be able to easily identify which block has been tampered, because the disconnection happens, the hash value gets changed, and so on. So that is how blocks are chained in the form of blockchain. So now we come to the architecture, where there are 2 major type of architecture. One is the private blockchain, another one is public. The example of a public blockchain is Bitcoin, where anyone can be part of it without anyone's authorization. It's like open for public, and there is no central authority governing it. Whereas that is why it is also called permissionless blockchain. The other architecture is the private blockchain, also called the permission, where it is like a closed network, and if anyone wants to be part of it, they of course need a permission, and it's only allowed for the private participants. It's not open for the public. Not the random public can be part of it. Next come the implementation choices, like public, private, hybrid, and consortium. So like we discussed, public and private, there is this hybrid form of implementation, where part of a blockchain solution is private, and a little part of the blockchain solution may be allowed for public. And there is another form of implementation, which is called a consortium. It's actually controlled by not a single authority, by a group, and then it is also a part of the permission blockchain implementation. Now we come to, since we have discussed blockchain basics, now we come to project management side. So as we all know, there are many project management frameworks. So that, as we know, the biggest one is PMI, Project Management Institute, and then Prince2 and OPM3 and so on. So if we take this PMI's project management methodology, we have these 5 stages that we have in the screen, starting with initiation, then planning, execution, monitoring, controlling, and closure. So this is the we can call it as project lifecycle or the stages of a project implementation. So the first stage, initiation, it's where we actually kick off a project, and we inform the team of the project got awarded, and then we move on to planning, where we plan the complete project, starting with the requirements document and the deadlines, the milestones, the budget, the resources required, the team that is going to work, how many, if it is a traditional project, it's all plan driven. If it is agile, then it is a change driven, and hybrid project, it's mix of both. And if it is like if it is following Scrum methodology in Agile, then we will create a product backlog, then sprint backlog, and we define how many weeks a sprint is going to happen, and how many sprints are actually going to be there to complete the product backlog, and so on. So the execution is the major part, where the actual development, if it is a software development project, actual development happens. If it is a construction project, it is where the actual building get constructed, and so on. So monitoring and controlling, where we handle this project in terms of quality assurance, procurement closure, and so on. And finally, we hand over the project to the operations, like we complete the project, and we complete all the sign-offs, and that's it. That's the end of the project. So this is the project management cycle in terms of a PMI's point of view. So when we spoke about the PMI, even the project management is also getting evolved. Last year, when I did the PMP examination from referring PMBOK Box 6, we had this PMI Talent Triangle that was having technical project management, leadership, and the strategic and business management. Now it's been a few weeks where this talent triangle has been has evolved, where technical project management has been renamed to ways of working, and the leadership has been renamed to power skills, and the strategic and business management has been changed to business acumen. So what it means to us in terms of project management, and what it means to us in blockchain terminologies. So ways of working elaborates about the methods, like if it is a agile, and if whether it is a hybrid, and the other soft skills that we use, we are expected to have, like design thinking, how to handle earned management, and handle requirements management, risk management, and so on. The next one is the power skills. This is where the actual skill set for the project managers and the PMO or project management officers, and so on, like leadership skills, emotional intelligence, mentoring the team, interpersonal skills, negotiation skills, problem solving, and the teamwork are all focused in this part, power skills part. The final one is the business acumen, which is really transformed compared to the past implementation of project management. More focus is now on benefits and benefits management and realization, and things like customer relationships and satisfaction. They have given more importance, and legal and regulatory compliance also is part of this business acumen. It's like it just got elaborated. The boundaries of the project manager, or the boundaries of the PMO got expanded with the introduction of these three changes. That is part of PMI triangle. So earlier we didn't have this market awareness in project management triangle. So now we have market awareness, part of business acumen in this PMI triangle, which means if someone is planning for a blockchain solution, and if they want to develop from the core, they really have to have a better understanding whether the market is ready for the product, or if there is actually a market for the product. If we take few years before, around 2017 and 18, there were many blockchain projects announced, and there were statistics where these many percentage of the blockchain projects reached until production, but they couldn't get the market buy-in because of either there is no market for it or the market is not ready for it. Like releasing a product to the market that demands 6G networking, whereas that landscape is not actually having 6G at all. So even if they release a product to the market, nobody will be able to utilize the product unless the network is upgraded to 6G, something like that. We are just moving a little bit towards Agile, which is like another way of project management delivery. The one way is the old one, that is the traditional project management, which is also called the plan-driven project management, where most of the project management is planned in the beginning itself. Then came Agile, and it is highly adopted in the past decade, and we can say in the past 5 years and in the pandemic also, Agile got more adoption, and moreover, Agile plus the plan-driven and change-driven amalgamated together, and the hybrid project management got more attention and adoption. So Scrum is a methodology in Agile project management. There are other flavors like Lean, Kanban, XP, and so on. So what happens in Scrum? There will be a product backlog which will be split into sprint backlogs, and sprint will run for, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks. And we will set a daily session called daily Scrum meeting for 15 minutes, where the development team collaborates together and discusses what was completed yesterday, what is going to be done today, and if there are any challenges in moving and so on. And that is the cycle. Like once the sprint, the 3-week sprint is over, then there will be a release, a minor release. This is called iterations and so on. So this is part of Scrum, how the Scrum cycle is handled, and this is part of Scrum is part of Agile. So now coming back to the stages, the multiple stages in project management, whether it is a blockchain project or a traditional project. So it all starts with an ideation. Then we'll be having a proof of concept. Some proof of concept may run for 4 to 8 weeks. Some may run even for months. We know an insurance project from Southeast Asia that the POC ran for 9 months, and some have even reached a full-scale production within 2 years. So it all depends on various factors and the client, the technology, and so on. So once the proof of concept is like accepted, and if it meets the criteria, then there may be a prototype developed to test it, and then it is piloted within a small environment. Then it is moved to the next stage. It graduates to a minimal viable product, where it goes as a product that is ready for use, but with a limited functionality. So after MVP, there will be a full-scale development of product. It goes to full production, and there will be phases like first they will be having a market-ready project completed and a product released, and the additional features will be slated for the next phase and so on. And that's how the products are getting engaged regularly in terms of blockchain projects as well. So these are the remarkable projects from UAE. Some are very well known across the globe. The Emirates blockchain strategy, financial services, that is for crypto regulations, crypto trading, and AML, KYC, and so on are part of it. The Dubai Customs is having an e-commerce platform, and Health Authority is having a licensing platform. There is the last one, that is Roads and Transport Authority, that is for vehicle history management in blockchain platform and so on. So these are some of the remarkable projects across the globe. There are hundreds of projects we can mention here. We just pulled a few just for reference. The first one is the Belt and Road blockchain. I'm not sure how many of us are aware of it. This is from China, where it all started with the 65 countries, and now there are like 130 or 150 countries part of it. It's the biggest blockchain project, I would say. In Belt and Road project, the participating countries are like more than 100 countries. And the next one is trade lanes, that is for containers tracking, that is from Mayors. There is also another project called the GSBN, similar to trade lanes. And the Baidu, as we all know, that's again from China. There are like thousands of blockchain developers working in this project. And Boeing Skygrade, IBM Food Trust, and Walmart for supply chain traceability for the goods that is arriving from multiple regions across the globe, and for traceability and so on. And there are many other projects for reference across the globe. For example, you may heard of this blockchain project from Tesla, where they wanted to track all the minerals, that is like a cobalt, that is sourced for manufacturing the EV batteries and so on. So every nation across the globe, the governments, the private sectors, all the emerging countries are having their own blockchain projects, and it's like the transformation that happened in internet like 3 decades ago. So these are the blockchain standards. Like ISO is having one standard for distributed ledger technologies, and IEEE P2145, that is another group working on blockchain.